And so that's another reason why this Parchman footage is a gift that keeps on giving, because I was having a conversation a couple of days ago with Nan McGee of Christ Song Ministries. And during that conversation, it occurred to me that it was the 1-year anniversary of the day we arrived at Parchman. And by we, I mean me and Bobby McGee, his wife Nan, and of course, Sailor Grace. When I was told I would be staying at a prison farm, it really wasn't my favorite Bobby McGee idea, but I trust my brothers, so we made it happen. I put a bunch of camera gear into my car, and I followed Bobby and Nan to Mississippi State Penitentiary to be exact. But keep in mind, every other time I had gone to a prison with Christ Song, we had only been there for a couple hours. So Parchman was different because it wasn't going to be hours, it was going to be 5 weeks, and we were going to be staying right there, sleeping right there on the prison farm. Driving into it, I felt like there was something that I was going to have to switch off before I stepped out of my vehicle. I was going to have to become a different version of myself, not just as a filmmaker, but as a human being. Of course, there was some fear, but there was even more curiosity. And it was a year ago today that I first began to realize how I was getting in my own way. And I needed to stop that. It wasn't my skills and talent as a filmmaker that the audience is going to connect with. It's their stories. I wasn't there to make it look pretty. I was there to tell the truth. So that was an instance where I had to learn to put the perfectionism away for a while and let it be what it is. And so that's another reason why this Parchman footage is a gift that keeps on giving, because as I'm still going through this footage and creating content for Christ Song Prison Ministry, I'm listening to these inmates talk about their experiences, and just watching and listening, it's having the emotional impact that a filmmaker wants the audience to experience. So it's already working. It's doing what the film is supposed to do. All I have to do is leave that, put that on the screen. And I'm sitting here in my studio editing the footage, and I'm listening to these men talk about change and how they've changed. So that was the other takeaway from this Parchman experience, that people are capable of changing. Just look at Bobby McGee. He served 22 years of his life in prison. Now he's going into prisons voluntarily to minister to the inmates. And I've seen the real change with my own eyes. What you hear in the interviews are the thoughts and feelings of these inmates in their own words. That experience has changed me in many ways. I have a newfound interest in prison reform. I find I'm not as judgmental as I used to be. I'm quicker to forgive. And in many times I've been a little apprehensive about dealing with the footage because it was bigger than me. The story's bigger than me, and I don't want to misrepresent the story. And so that's another way I was getting in my way, is overthinking it. How do I present this to the audience in the best way possible? Well, there's no need for smoke and mirrors. The story already works as a story. And how do I know? Because I'm feeling the emotional impact that I want my audience to experience before I even start cutting the footage.